Morning, Al Ingalls here at pressure-free.com. We're going to continue to lift up the hood. And the topic today is improving the immune system. So, for the past several days, I've been talking about different bodily systems, bodily processes, and how they can improve when you start to get a handle on the stress response. So, that's my expertise, the fight or flight stress response, what it does to us mentally, physically, and in this video, I really want to concentrate on the effects of the stress response on the immune system so it can start to make sense why refraining from triggering stress hormones can really start to help you be healthier. Before I created Pressure Free, I probably had 5 to 6 colds a year. Certainly during the holidays, I would get sick. I would power through. I remember one year I just powered through and unfortunately got really, really thin, and it was not a good scene. I just couldn't seem to get well. And as I look back on that, I realized that my stress response had become so chronic, like releasing these hormones just so many times in the day. And then when I couldn't seem to get well, it just exacerbated. So that my body really took a toll that year. And if anyone would have told me that now you'll hardly ever be sick, knock on wood, I would say, well, that's impossible. That's not possible. Like everybody gets sick, everybody has colds, everybody catches the flu now and then. Um, but this has been my experience. So in 2010 and 2011, I had in those 2 years, 3 small colds. So instead of about six a year, it was like a 1.5 a year. And since 2010 to today, I've had 5 small colds and COVID once. Amazing. Like it's just amazing. And at first I doubted, like that first couple of years when I wasn't getting very sick, I actually doubted, how could this be? So then I decided to really dig in and look at the science behind it. So here's a couple things about the stress response and your immune system, our immune system. When you release the first flood of hormones, catecholamines, there's a little protein called, gosh, what's it called? Interferon gamma. Interferon gamma. It actually made headlines during the pandemic. I got very excited about that because it's this little protein. And when the first flood of hormones goes out, for some reason, that protein is suppressed and reduced about 90%. I'm going to take a hypothetical guess here that that's because for the processes of fight or flight to happen, we need to somewhat suppress the immune system because our immune system takes so much energy to do the work it does. So there's a big dip. And then when the second flood of hormones goes out, one of the studies that I came across said that there's about a 40% drop in the overall functioning of the immune system. The other thing that happens in both floods of hormones in the stress response in general is that it can create a lot of inflammation, particularly if it's chronic. And for some people, one of the symptoms, their first side effects that they know they're going into fight or flight is tightening of the chest, tightening of the airway passages, inflammation all in here. Sometimes it results in being hard to speak. So you get called on in class if you're a student in a class and you get called on and you're nervous and now it's like really hard to get the words out. If you're really emotional about something in a conversation, you could feel we have the expression all choked up, right? That's an inflammatory situation that is caused by the release of these hormones. So inflammation can be a huge factor in our entire body, but you'll particularly feel it here in your airways, um, if that's a thing for you. So you'll hear about stress-induced asthma. So asthma has a lot of different factors. I find it curious that one of the factors, they'll say if your parents had asthma, then you're very likely to have it also. I would love to see a study done to see if that is not a genetic thing, but it is uh, an environment thing. Like it's an imitation. So if you have a parent who is continually triggering the stress response and overreacting to things, you'll pick up those same subconscious habits. And is that the thing that's causing the asthma? Is that the thing that's causing overreaction to, and that's what allergies are as well. I had a young client, so I will coach as young as 10. I have done some work in schools with first graders, but my private clients, the youngest has been 10. And so in my intake with him and his mother, he shared that he was on allergy medicine 365 days of the year, and his father is as well. It's a genetic thing, basically. And so I jotted that down in my notes about him. When we got to the end of our time together, I brought up the notes and I said, well, let's talk about some of the things you wanted to have happen. He's a very brilliant little mathematician, soccer player. So we're talking about those things. And then I go, so what about your allergies? And he gets this big smile on his face. And he looks at his mother and I go, okay, so what about the allergies? And he goes, well, I haven't taken any medicine in weeks. Like I don't have allergies anymore. So it wasn't a genetic factor. It was probably just the fact that he was triggering the stress response so much in anxiety around testing, anxiety around being really great, 'cause he's a very smart boy, being perfect, basically. Perfectionism, that was a thing. I think that was going on. And when he realized that the stress hormones had a role in all this, like I taught him the science, just like I would teach an adult the science behind the things that he was curious about or things happening to him, it made sense. And so he starts breaking those patterns, and it's pretty cool to see what starts to happen. It's kind of fun for me to see where people are years later, what they're doing. I just saw that another student I coached when he was about 12 or 13 is off to St. Andrews in Edinburgh. So I just love to see what people are up to. It's beautiful and how pressure free made a difference when I was working with them and hopefully is still making a difference in their life today. Um, so with that in mind, let's see. When your throat tightens, if that's an issue for you or an issue for someone that you care about and or know, that can be very scary. And the fear that it might happen can also be a trigger. So if you have a tendency to have tightness here, or to be sick a lot, um, anything to do with the immune system, or if you have an autoimmune disease, same thing. Some of our patterns of thinking about it um, are triggering the stress response, subconscious patterns, worries. So let's go to worry for a moment because I think if you have something chronic going on, there'll be worry that you can't travel or you can't participate in something. There'll be a lot of worry around if something is going to cause an attack, right? Just watched a mini series where an asthma attack resulted in the death of a girl, right? So this is a real thing, and the tightness and the inflammation. So with that in mind, it's like backing up and seeing, okay, maybe my worrying is causing the release of these hormones that then results in a tightening, and now I'm in this cascade, so it becomes a spiral. Um, I often teach that framing, but I'm going to share just this part here, a couple things about this part here in the body. So when we have pain and tension or hurt, we tense toward the pain. I've shared that a few times during this series. That's the case here too. I'll watch people's shoulders go up and they're going, oh no, it's happening, right? So it feels very counterintuitive to go wide. But if you can go wide, just really open up from your shoulders down through your ribs, like 360-degree open, like wide, and start to practice that, not necessarily in the moment of when this thing is happening, but start practicing it all day long. Like this is now the frame in which I hold my body. Uh, I'm curious to note, I think that might have made a big difference with the young person that I worked on about allergies. Like he was holding this part of his body differently. And assess like all the muscles in here. Are you holding your pecs tight, right? See if you can relax and open everything. So like if you start jiggling your body, everything jiggles. That was an issue for me. I didn't want to jiggle. So it's like, can you get this so soft and so open? I think of this 360-degree opening as giving your heart and lungs so much more space. And then when you add the relaxed abs to it, now your lungs have so much more room to do their work. So when the constriction happens, if you can catch it right when it first starts to become tense, and maybe the thought is a worry, a tension here, see if you can go wide. But then see if you can build into your day times when you're just going really wide, 360 degrees, open, open, open with this part of your body. These are the times that I think about that. I think about it when I get in my car to drive. I think about it when I first come to my computer because I'll end up be like, and then I'll go open. I think about it when I sit to eat because I don't know why, but I just want to kind of go like this when I eat. I don't know why. So it's like my sister surely didn't. They just like princesses at the dinner table. But for some reason, I wanted to just kind of be private in my eating. I don't know why. Um, so again, all of these muscles, 360-degree open. That's my tool for you today. And then check the worrying. Check the worrying about, especially if you have an autoimmune disease, you may play out scenarios in your mind that are continuing to tense up and create more and more and more worry. Same thing if you have asthma or allergies. So our immune system is really precious and it's amazing how it works. And when you stay more and more pressure free, it will flourish for you. And I have so many clients who are really grateful for that benefit. And it's just great when you don't have to worry so much about being ill in general. So I wish you a beautiful pressure free day, and I'll see you tomorrow.